And now, for the first time, the real world in glorious AromaVision.
Welcome to TV's first deliberate attempt to get right up your nose. Tonight, we're going to look at the one sense we all tend, literally, to overlook, our sense of smell.
Even if you haven't got one of these special ITV aroma packs from this week's TV Times, we've got plenty to keep you intrigued as we investigate the role of our noses, and you're going to be surprised at what they get up to.
Now, for that biggest ever smell test, and we're going to use the first 3 pads on the aroma pack. It's best if you cut along the dotted line to separate the smells. Keep each little card after you've scratched it, because we'll be using some of them more than once. Remember, you only need to scratch the little pad very lightly with your fingernail to get the full effect.
And here's the symbol to tell you to get scratching. This one is obviously for number 1, and after you've had a whiff, pass it round. You'll find that there are a list of choices for each pad on page 15 of this week's TV Times.
The choices for number 1 are leather, burnt rice pudding, pineapple, rotten eggs. We'll tell you the answer in a few minutes.
Well, everybody in the studio is busy scratching and sniffing, and you should hear some of the suggestions. Now, if any of you at home are feeling a little self-conscious doing this, do take it from me, there are places where they take this sort of test very seriously. All right, you two, let's get back to our own aroma pack, and let's move on, if we can, to smell number 2.
The possibilities are mint, gingerbread, cut grass, and strawberries. Well, while everyone's busy making up their mind what they think it is, Richard, what percentage of people either can't smell at all or are smell blind?
Generally, about 1% of the population is believed to have a smell loss. When you get older, it becomes a much larger proportion of people. Between the ages of 65 and 80, 1 out of 4 people can't smell, and after the age of 80, about 1 out of 2 people can't smell.
So, how do you feel you're doing? Well, you're ready for smell number 3. And after this one, we'll find out our results so far, and you can check how you're doing against our studio guests here. And the possibilities are fresh mushrooms, soap, cheddar cheese, cherries. While everybody's trying to make up their minds, let me tell you that our guests here in the studio did surprisingly well in Richard Doty's 40 smell test. Surprisingly well, he says, for a British group. Almost as well as he expected the Americans would. After all, they know what dill pickle is, don't they? But what is interesting is that 7 out of the 10 people who didn't do so well are heavy smokers. Of course, that doesn't count Peter, who didn't get any of them right at all. So we can't report a miracle as far as you're concerned.
Now, back to that 3 smell test that everyone at home and here in the studio is doing. And can I ask you to take your mind back to that first scratch-and-sniff pack? Who thought that it was leather? You thought it was leather? What leather over there? You're wrong. Margaret thought it was leather. In fact, the answer was burnt rice pudding. Did anybody actually not get it apart from those 3? Anybody not get it at all or couldn't choose?
Oh, quite a few. Number 2 now. Answer, strawberries. Easy enough. Oh, no. Don't all rush. We're interested in the ones who didn't get strawberries. Hands up, didn't get strawberries. Oh, there's a pattern emerging, is there not?
OK, and the answer to number 3, which is the one I've found the hardest, is mushrooms. Good. Who didn't get mushrooms? Now, can you scratch and sniff the next one, number 4, and with a good scratch and a good sniff, and tell me, with what do you associate this smell?
So,
what do you associate the smell with?
smells like babies.
Number 4 on our pack is actually the smell of talcum powder. And over the years, it has won a strong share of the world market for baby products.
It was originally created for one American manufacturer, but it has so captured our imagination that every talcum producer has had to copy it, and a smell like this has come to stand for babies themselves. So, how easily are we being led by the nose?
Now, I'd like you to try number 5 in the pack. What do you think that one is? I'll give you a little help. It's something that most of us use every day, but perhaps only the older ones among the audience will actually remember when it smelt just like that.
I think at least a couple of the ladies have got it. It is washing up liquid, pure washing up liquid. No fragrance, just soap. I wonder if you'd be so keen to do the washing up if your sink smelt like this.
Let me show you this Aldehyde C-11. I think if we were to use this in the fragrance, it would help give freshness and diffusion to the top note. It's perhaps not the most pleasant of odours.
It's very unpleasant.
Most unpleasant. This C-11 is, to me, rather fatty, almost metallic in odour. Very intense, and we only use a small amount of it. You don't actually smell it in the final fragrance, but it is like a little powerhouse inside working to give radiance and sparkle, as it were, to the top note of the perfume.
Elusive. Mysterious. Irresistible. Priceless. Le monde réel. The world's most exclusive fragrance.
We're just not being fair, are we? Making it so exclusive you can't buy it. But you can try Le Monde Réel by scratching smell number 7 on the aroma pack.
You like it? Mostly you like it? Yes. Mostly they like it. So it seems as though you've got your first 3 customers, Mike, if you ever want to go into production. Peter, if your wife wore that, would it make any difference?
Sadly, none at all.
What a shame.
To be honest, at this stage, burnt rice pudding started doing things for me. Does burnt rice pudding mean anything to you?
Well, in America, we really don't have that much burnt rice pudding, so we have rice pudding, but it's not burnt, usually.
All right, I've admitted it. Burnt rice pudding is going to always remind me of school more vividly than any souvenir I can think of.
And I am much more romantic. Now, have number 8 on the pack ready. We're going to give that one a try.
It's one of those times to remember. The sights and sounds of a summer afternoon will always be with you. But it's the smell you associate with the day which will, in the future, instantly trigger off the memory of that moment. The smell of fresh cut grass.
And as we say goodbye, have pads number 2 and number 8 standing by.
Next week, The Real World takes a look forward in time to the cars and extraordinary products of the year 2000.